Since President-elect Donald Trump's election last month, 2012 presidential candidate Mitt Romney, former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani, and others have been hailed as frontrunners for the job of Secretary of State. Now, a Trump transition advisor says Trump isn't sold on anybody and is scheduled to meet with ExxonMobil Chairman Rex Tillerson, even though Trump's team said last week that the search had narrowed to 4 finalists. 64-year-old Tillerson grew up in Texas and joined Exxon in 1975. The company has operations in more than 50 countries and often exerts itself abroad with the sweep of a foreign nation. He's slated to retire next year. Kellyanne Conway, a senior Trump advisor, confirmed on Sunday that the search has been broadened.
Well, it is true that he's broadened the search, and the Secretary of State is an incredibly important position for any president to fill. And he has, he's very fortunate to have interest among serious men and women all of whom need to understand that their first responsibility as Secretary of State would be to implement and adhere to the President-elect's America First foreign policy and be loyal to his view of the world.
As the head of a company with a massive global footprint, ExxonMobil's Tillerson is no stranger to foreign leaders. As CEO of the company, he's spoken against sanctions on Russia, where the company in 2012 signed a $3.2 billion deal that Russian President Vladimir Putin said could eventually reach $500 billion in investments. The 2012 deal gave Exxon access to prized Arctic resources. Later that year, the Kremlin bestowed the country's Order of Friendship on the American businessman. Tillerson's close ties to the company, including tens of millions of dollars of Exxon shares that will become available to him in the coming decade, could complicate his efforts to lift sanctions or intervene in trade disputes where Exxon has a financial interest. It would be almost impossible for him to recuse himself from working with all the countries in which Exxon operates or markets products. Tillerson supported Governor Jeb Bush, not Trump, in the election and made no contributions to Trump. Trump advisors say a final decision could come by week's end.